Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and wastewater industry and careers you didn't know about. We are on location live at the in Vermont. This is Manchester, Vermont, at the historic DeConnick Hotel. And with me in the house right now is an old friend from the Connecticut Water Company, Mr. Rich Hanratty. So how you doing, Rich? Good to see you, buddy.
Great, Dave. Great to be here.
All right, fantastic. Well, basically the careers in the water industry. Tell me about your day job, man.
Well, it's a little bit different, Dave. So I'm a legislative person for Connecticut Water Company, a legislative specialist. I'm a registered lobbyist. I'm also an attorney. And what I do is I represent the interest of Connecticut Water. I'm also on the CWWA board. I'm one of the legislative tri-chairs, and we monitor legislation and regulations, basically any sort of government actions that could either have a positive or negative effect on the water industry. And we either support, try to advance initiatives that help our industry,
Yep.
or, lack of a better term, trying to kill things that don't.
Absolutely. So how long have you been with Connecticut Water now?
Only about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like longer. Great company. I love it.
So tell me how you got into the industry.
Well, I'm an attorney, and I was a legislative counsel for the Connecticut General Assembly, worked in the Legislative Commissioner's Office, and what that means is I was assigned to different committees. I represented the Environment Committee, Planning and Development Committee, and General Law, a couple others over my career of 19 years up in Hartford. And we would write the legislation for the committees and the legislators, and we would make sure that they kind of followed the rules during committee proceedings, kind of like herding cats.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever works. With the this obviously from the legislative side, this is the short session, so it was a lot shorter.
Yeah. So the short session under the Connecticut Constitution, and this year, even numbered years, the session begins in February and ends in May. And then in odd years, you have a long session which begins in January and ends in June.
Nice. Now, you've been with Connecticut Water, so you're 3 years. So, are you based in Westbrook or
in Clinton? And I should add that I knew Maureen Westbrook, the former president of Connecticut Water,
Yep.
very well. My wife actually taught her twins when my wife first started in Westbrook, and I just knew her from the shoreline, but then I used to see her every day during session. She would come up to the Capitol, and she had my job for a while
Yep.
at Connecticut Water, and then she ultimately became president of Connecticut Water before retiring.
Yep.
And when she became president, they needed someone to fill my position, and I saw it advertised, and I said, wow, that's perfect. I love water,
Yep.
and I love legislation, and it's a perfect nexus.
Well, as it turns out, Maureen and I are part of what we call the Water Fund Group. I just spent 2 days with Maureen and
She's great.
Len Dion down at the in Woodstock, and we just spent down there with Jack McManus, who's been in the industry for many years. In fact, I did a podcast with him. He's 86 years old.
Wow, good for him.
And there's a lot of institutional knowledge in there. But I've been fortunate. I just retired from the town of Portland after 50 years.
I was at your retirement party.
Yes.
Well deserved. But you're not really retired. I see you everywhere.
Well, I was overwhelmed. The amount of people, that came out to the retirement party, and from all of the aspects of my life, as far as in the water industry, the music industry, the town, and so forth. I was gratifying, overly whelmed.
Yeah, you know what, Dave? That kind of highlights one of the things that I really enjoy about this industry. Only having been in it for 3 years, I love it. The people are great. Everyone truly wants to help each other, and although we are, sometimes quote unquote competitors, we have events like this where we all work together. We identify issues we can help each other out with, and it's just it's a really good community.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and like I say, it's a team effort, and everybody works together, and there's so much knowledge, okay, within the industry, and what strikes me about it, everybody within the industry, including yourself, is just so passionate about what we do. We're willing to share. One of my big focuses, obviously, doing this podcast is workforce succession. The certified operators in Connecticut basically are, 45% of them are eligible to retire within the next 5 years. So we've got to start refilling that pipeline. And for me doing this podcast, I think I'm up to like 87 episodes, but basically I share it with the high school guidance counselors. And, we have to get the awareness of the industry into, the students, whether it's the high school seniors or college freshmen, because 90% of the people that I've interviewed on my podcast got into the industry by happenstance, okay? My father knew somebody. My father worked in the industry. This job became available, but it's not an industry that people or kids in high school is. I'm going to go into the water industry. So that's my prime focus. Is to get the awareness out there, and the careers in the water industry. I mean, obviously the umbrella is very large. You're in the legislative side, the legal side, but it is a big umbrella. You've got HR, you've got operators, you've got construction, you've got meter readers, you've got the whole gamut.
Oh yeah, it touches on everything, Dave. And you're 100% right. High school students, I see, when you're in high school, certain students wind up going to, college to get a 2-year or 4-year degree,
Yeah.
go on to professional degrees or whatever. But there's the trade side too.
Absolutely.
And I personally think a lot of kids would be better suited to just go into the trades. I mean, if you're not a person who really loves academia, there are plenty of options. If you want to work in the field, as you said, there are just so many options available, and water's it's the first thing you touch when you wake up in the morning usually, and the last thing before you go to sleep when you brush your teeth. And people don't realize, I think we do such a good job as an industry that your average citizen doesn't really think about it much.
It's out of sight, out of mind. You turn on the faucet and it's there, and nobody thinks about what goes into making it there. You've got all the industry professionals within it, from your operators to distribution people, your treatment people, and everything else that make it happen. And obviously you've got regulatory issues that you're familiar with and so forth. And I think from your summation on the legislative update, I think one of the issues that's coming to the forefront now is climate change.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. That and PFAS and a number of other issues.
Yep.
But the industry is facing quite a bit going forward, and we're going to need all the help we can get in the next couple of decades.
No, for sure, absolutely. Anyway, so tell me about your personal life. I mean, what are your hobbies?
Well, I love water, so I guess it's a pretty good fit.
Nice.
I boat, I fish, I scuba dive, spearfish.
Nice.
And have had a captain's license. I was in the Marine Corps Reserves, so I'm I won't say former Marine. I'm an Eagle Scout.
Nice.
U.S. Captain's, Coast Guard Captain's license. And I'll just sum it up, my license plate, one of my cars is Fish 4, and the other one is Fish On. So
nice.
Love fish, love water. I've nothing personal, but it's a really nice day, and I wish I was fishing.
Oh, well, up here in Vermont, I mean, you've got the Orvis Fly Fishing Factory Museum down the road and so forth. There's a lot of history up here, and it's a great place. And there's, too bad we get out a little bit and,
Oh, I'm headed there as soon as I can.
do some casting. So, as you know, part of my alter ego, okay, is I also own, in the music industry and so forth. So, what's your taste in music?
I like the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite. But I listen to, my kids are 22-year-old twins, and they got me to listen to some of the newer stuff. So I'm open, but I love that, the Eagles genre.
Okay. You remember the first concert you ever went to?
Yeah, ZZ Top.
Yeah.
The beard's down to here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I can tell you, I can't hold a tune. I've seen you play and sing, and I'm just amazed at anybody who can do that. I just can't fathom it.
Well, you have fun doing it, and like I say, I've been blessed, and I graduated college as a music teacher and so forth. But I've been in the water industry for 50 years. It was one of those things. But on the other hand, okay, the other thing I usually like desert island food questions.
Oh.
If you got stuck on a desert island, what food could you eat every day?
Oh man, anything?
Yeah.
Lobster.
Okay, seafood.
Yeah.
Like me, seafood, and I eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
As far
That's
as
my
I go.
problem.
All right, desert island albums. If you got stuck on an island, okay, what albums would you bring?
Well, Eagles,
Eagles.
definitely. Maybe old school, like some Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Fantastic.
Something like that.
So, all right. Anyway, so you enjoying the conference so far?
Yeah, love it. I mean, people are great, and just people like you, just real characters, and just interesting and willing to share. And I highly recommend anybody in high school or even beyond as a second career to consider the water industry.
Well, that's the other thing. Not every kid, as you mentioned prior, is meant to go to college. A lot of times, unfortunately, students are I don't want to say brainwashed, but they're encouraged to go to college, and not every kid is meant to go to college.
Right, and they shouldn't. I mean, a lot of kids, a lot of my friends just went by default.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, and they would have been I know this one kid, won't mention any names, of one of my son's friends who, the kid is going out to graduate school, but he really wanted to be a carpenter.
Yeah.
And he was good at it, and he would have had a really good career, but for whatever reason, like society says, no, you got to keep going as college. But he was talented, and he does it on the side. But I think that's a disservice to a lot of students.
Well, and these kids that do go to college, that they end up coming out of college with $60,000-$70,000 in college.
My son went to. He luckily did pretty well on the financial side, but he went to Boston University.
Yep.
Just graduated this weekend. Guess what the tuition is at BU?
Well, let's see. My daughter did her post-grad and I think it was like $500 a credit.
Well, a tuition, room and board, $93,000 a year.
Yep. No, all
multiply that by 4.
All of my money went to Boston. My son graduated from Berklee College of Music, and my daughter graduated undergrad from Wheelock College, and then she did her postgrad at BU. It's a great city, but like I say, it's
But on the other side, you can go ahead and a kid goes into a trade school, does his or her apprenticeship, and then winds up with no student loans and a great job with benefits,
security,
good pay.
For sure. All right.
Yeah.
Rich, thank you so much.
Dave, pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are again live here at the historic Taconic in Manchester, Vermont. And with us, as you hear the background noise, we're in sessions here. But Mr. Rich Hanratty from Connecticut Water Company is in the house, and we thank him for coming. And stay tuned for the rest of it. We're going to be doing some more podcasting later on this evening, and check us out. So I'm your host, Dave Kosminski, and that is all.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Rich.
Appreciate it.